to The Real World. My name is Cameron. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special episode, our second episode from right here at Premier LUX Cinema 8 and Pizza Pub in Plant City. We are ecstatic. Thank you again to the amazing staff here.
Definitely.
We could not be happier to be here doing a movie podcast from a movie theater.
That's right.
Unprecedented.
What better
in the world
place
of
to do it?
podcasting. Yes, absolutely. So we're excited for this second episode here. We're going to be talking all about the biggest movies coming out this year, 2024. Thank you again so much for joining us here on the Real World Podcast. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos. We are all about movies here. And today we're going to kick things off with some movie news. Wes Anderson's next film just set its cast. He cast Bill Murray,
Of course.
who's a stalwart, acting friend of his. Benicio del Toro,
Okay, great.
and then Michael Cera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, has all
Wow,
been
Michael
cast.
Cera and a Wes Anderson film.
I know.
That's interesting.
It's a great fit, I think.
I think so,
I think
too.
it's going to be great.
I'm
I think it's going to be
excited.
interesting. No word on the story
No
yet,
story, no title.
but very interested to see what he does next. A great filmmaker.
Very cool.
Next up, Michael B. Jordan is re-teaming with Ryan Coogler.
Oh,
Who,
okay.
of course, they've worked together numerous
Yeah,
times.
definitely.
But it's been a while, and they are re-teaming for an upcoming film that is said to be a genre film, rumored to be about vampires.
Interesting.
So that could be a really interesting movie.
Definitely.
Have to see what those guys do next. Coogler, I mean, what he did with Creed was amazing.
Definitely.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
So really interested to see what that becomes.
For sure.
The next big property that's getting its own animated movie is Bob the Builder.
Oh, really?
Bob the Builder's getting his
Wow.
own big feature animated movie
Yeah.
starring Anthony Ramos.
Okay.
And it's also being produced by Jennifer Lopez.
Very
so
cool.
Very
Awesome.
interested to
Awesome.
see what that ends up being.
Love Bob the Builder. Grew up with it.
Yeah.
Great claymation animated series.
Yeah. Yeah.
This will probably be CG, but
Right.
Yeah, love the franchise. Love the character.
Yeah, we'll see what that becomes. Next up, Lily Gladstone, coming hot off of her Oscar nomination for Killers of the Flower Moon,
Okay.
is re-teaming with Martin Scorsese for his next film.
Wow.
This is going to be a really cool sci-fi movie
Interesting.
called The Memory Police, based on a 1994 novel,
Wow.
a Japanese novel by Yoko Ogawa. It's said to be similar to George Orwell's 1984.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a
Interesting.
dystopian future, a little bit like Minority
Scorsese
Report.
doing anything sci-fi
Yeah.
is very unique for him. So,
I agree.
Yeah, definitely interested in seeing that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Next up, Coleman Domingo, also coming off of a Oscar nomination, has set his next film, which he will both star in and direct. So the first film he's
Oh.
directed, it's based on the life of Nat King Cole, a
Okay.
famous singer.
Cool.
So it's going to be a biopic and a musical,
Interesting.
which is going to be an interesting combination.
Yeah,
So very interested to see what becomes of that. I'm a big fan of musicals and biopics, so that's one I'm looking forward to.
Great.
Michael Fassbender and Kate Blanchett will start together in Steven Soderbergh's next film from a script by David Koepp. It's a spy thriller.
Okay.
So these two heavyweight actors
Yeah.
going head to head is going to be a ton of fun to see.
Definitely,
Can't wait to
definitely.
check that
Yeah,
out.
definitely see a night and day resemblance there.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if it'll be more comedic though, or if it'll be darker.
I
don't know.
Let's see.
Speaking of David Koepp, this guy is a prolific screenwriter. He wrote the original Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And he has been tapped by Universal to write the next Jurassic movie.
Oh, okay. So the original Jurassic Park writer is coming back.
He's coming
for
back.
the next Jurassic World movie.
That's right. So I don't know
Very
if it'll
cool.
be Jurassic World 4, if this is going to be a whole new cast. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind just a straight up remake of the original. Something like that.
I don't know if they'll do that. I think they'll move forward with it. Because I think
Maybe.
what Jurassic World Dominion set up so well was kind of what we've all been waiting for,
Sure,
which is humans
sure.
and dinosaurs living together.
Yeah.
So I think they need to dive deeper into that.
I
think
agree.
that's what they're going to end up
Yeah,
doing.
that would be cool.
All right, that's it for movie news. Time to jump into our main topic. All right, so 2024 looks to be a huge year for movies.
That's right, we got a lot
building
planned.
off of what happened in 2023.
Definitely.
There's some big movies coming out this year. So we just wanted to go month by month and break down all the biggest movies that are coming to theaters that you'll be able to watch with your family and friends. So January is already over. It's come and gone very quickly.
That's right. We got some great movies this year.
We've got some
this month.
pretty good ones. You know,
Yeah.
January is typically kind of a dry season, but some big hits included The Beekeeper,
Yep.
Mean Girls the Musical. We also had Night Swim, which
Okay.
was a horror film, and then we went and saw ISS, which
right,
we
yeah.
quite enjoyed.
Pretty
so,
good, pretty good.
Yeah, some interesting movies there that came out. You can check out our reaction to ISS on the channel right now. But let's look ahead into February. So kicking things off with February, we have Argyle,
Okay.
which we've been inundated with the trailers. I
Of
feel like
course.
every time we come to the movies,
Definitely.
ever since like the beginning of December,
Yeah.
we've had these
The
trailers for
spy movie
Argyle.
with the cat. Yeah.
Spy movie with the cat, Matthew Vaughn's directing
right.
it, Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, who's one of our favorites.
Sam Rockwell. To me, he's what's getting me really interested in seeing it. I love him
I
as a
agree.
performer.
I will watch him in anything. So I'm really interested to see that. That comes out the first week of February. Also in February, we have an interesting kind of parody, remake, revamp of Frankenstein. It's called
Okay.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Interesting.
And it's going to be kind of a rom-com mixed with a kind of Frankenstein story. in it.
Okay.
So very
That could
interested
work.
to see Cole Sprouse is in it,
Sure.
who we knew from Sweet Life.
Yeah. of course.
And
Great.
Catherine Newton is in it as well as an upcoming actress. So that looks very interesting. Then in February, we also have the Spider-Man spin-off, Madam Web. Madam Web looks very
Oh, boy.
interesting.
That's
We
right.
keep cracking up at the trailer because it's just kind of one of those very generic trailers
yeah.
that you
And
typically see.
That kind of rings true, I think, for most of Sony's
Right.
Spider-Verse stuff that has no Spider-Man in it.
Exactly.
Craven, Venom,
Mhm.
Madam Web now.
Morbius.
of
Right.
course, is a big famous one. Infamous, I should say.
Right.
So yeah, what else other than Madam Web do we have to look forward to?
We've got Bob Marley, One Love, which is his biopic, which actually looks pretty compelling.
Looks pretty good, yeah.
Very interested to see that one.
Right.
Then we have the Coen Brothers' next movie, Drive Away Dolls, which is said to be a
Okay.
road movie.
Cool.
And then we have Ordinary Angels, which is based on a true story as well.
right, yeah,
So
I've heard about that.
some interesting mix of movies there.
Very cool.
We got some action, we got some comedy, we got some biopics. You know,
Yeah.
it's a really good mix in February.
For
What
sure.
we have. So that's what February holds in store. Anything that really stands out to you there? Are you looking forward to one of those specifically?
Well, Lisa Frankenstein was totally new to me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any ads for
Oh, really?
it or
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, though.
Yeah.
Kind of a rom-com horror mishmash.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Kinda
I'm
cool.
looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
I think that, and I really think Argyle's growing on me. I think that's the one I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to most,
yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Kind of a movie within a movie type
Sure,
thing. It's a
sure.
cool concept.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Next up in March, we have, of course, Dune Part 2, which
This is the greatest.
this is
biggest
near the top of our list
Yeah.
of most anticipated movies.
For
The first
sure.
Dune was incredible, just a mind-blowing
Yeah,
experience.
it was absolutely.
Denis Villeneuve just did a great job directing that film. So very curious to see how
Yeah,
he
I get-
kind of wraps up the story
For sure,
in part 2.
for sure. I get-
Although he does want to make a
Yeah,
third one,
I know.
which would
He could
continue
do
the
it.
story.
He
I
could do
think
it.
that'd
Keep
be
going.
great.
There's lots of books.
Definitely.
I get goosebumps every time I watch this trailer. It's just so epic
I
and,
know.
and grand. And,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Definitely one that you have to see in theater.
For sure, for sure.
Then we have the next Kung Fu Panda film, Kung Fu
That's
Panda
right.
4.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
Which is coming
Interesting.
out. I actually think it looks really compelling, kind of bringing back some old elements from the other
Sure,
movies, some of the
sure.
villains and
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, it's been over a decade
Yeah,
since the first
it's been
one
a
came
while.
out, so I'm
It's been a
surprised that
while.
they're still making them consistent.
Absolutely. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Then we have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
That's right.
Very curious to see what they did
Yeah.
with this. I actually liked Afterlife quite a bit.
Sure, sure.
I thought it was fun, so I hope this continues that trend of kind of giving us new stuff
Right.
while also harkening back to the original and paying homage in certain
Definitely,
ways.
Definitely.
So very curious about Frozen Empire. And then of course kicking off, or ending the month with Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire.
That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
the next big MonsterVerse movie
Yes.
coming hot on the heels of Godzilla vs. Kong. Now they're teaming up against a new enemy.
I love how all the Godzilla movies have math equations
Right.
in their titles. You have
Godzilla
Godzilla minus one,
-1.
Godzilla X Kong.
Multiplied by
yeah,
Kong.
yeah, exactly.
So that's going to be fun. Now we're moving on to April. So April we have The First Omen, which is a prequel to The Omen.
Okay.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So this is the next film from Guy Ritchie. It's a World War II movie with Henry Cavill. It's going to be really interesting to see kind
Very
of what they do with that.
Sounds like a Geneva Convention type
Right.
story.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, it could be fun. Then we have Civil War from Alex Garland. This
Okay.
is an A24 film,
That's
their
right.
biggest budget yet.
Heard about it.
Looks like a big movie.
Yeah.
Some big actors in it, Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons. So very curious to see what that ends up being. Then of course we have Challengers with Zendaya as a tennis player. And then Unsung Hero, which is the true story of the band For King and Country.
That's right.
So very curious about what they do with that as well.
Very cool.
Moving on to May, so kicking off kind of the summer season now.
That's right.
With some of the big budget movies. The Fall Guy, starring
Right.
one of our favorites, Ryan Gosling,
Yep, of
and
course.
Emily Blunt. Really curious to see what that
The
is.
Stuntman.
Stuntman movie,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Very
based on the
cool.
TV series.
Sure.
Then we have Back to Black, which is another biopic based on the life of Amy Winehouse, who's
Oh,
a
okay.
famous singer.
Yeah.
So curious to see what they do with that. Horoscope is coming out.
Okay.
Horror film. Then we have a big one, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the continuation of the Apes franchise, which
For
we are
sure.
both huge fans of,
Yeah.
going all the way back to the original.
Definitely.
So really curious to see how they're continuing that franchise with a whole new cast.
Yeah.
That's going to be really fun. Then we have If, which is the Ryan
Okay.
Reynolds film
That's right.
directed by John Krasinski
Yep,
about
heard about that.
imaginary friends.
That's right.
I actually like the trailer for this. I think this looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean Ryan Reynolds to each his own, but
Right.
he doesn't sell it for me. He just kind of has that phony persona
Right.
that I think I just can't really get over.
Plays Deadpool in every movie.
Of course, of course.
But the concept is cool. That's
Sure.
more what I'm looking forward to, is the concept.
Kind of a
Um,
bedtime stories-esque.
Yeah, it
sort
looks kind of like
feel.
that a little bit. Yep, exactly. Then we have Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
That's right.
This is the next in the Mad Max franchise, coming off of Fury Road, which is going to be really interesting to see what they do with that. So,
Definitely.
yeah, Furiosa, the trailer just kind of blew me away.
Yeah.
I really was into that. Has that same look and feel
Fury
as
Road.
Fury Road
Fury Road is
does.
one of the greatest action films
Nice. It's
of
incredible.
the century.
It's
You know
incredible.
what I mean?
And Chris Hemsworth, unrecognizable in this trailer.
I know. Yeah, that's
playing
the best.
a character
Yeah.
there. That's going to be a lot of fun. So,
Very, very interested in that.
and then ending out May with the Garfield movie. So another popular
right.
character that
Chris
they're bringing
Pratt.
to the big screen.
Chris Pratt is Garfield.
That's right. That's
he's
right.
Mario.
Another,
He's Garfield.
he's going to be every animated character
He's in everything.
from now on.
I know.
Yeah. So that's it for May. Then we move into June with Ballerina, which is the John Wick spin-off.
That's right.
Starring Ana de Armas,
Yep.
who we're both big fans of as well. We're going to get a cameo appearance by Keanu Reeves.
Very cool.
Ian McShane will come back. And so that's going to be really interesting to see how they tie that in with the John Wick franchise.
Right.
I think it's supposed to take place between the third and fourth movies, if I'm not mistaken. So
Very
that's
cool.
interesting. Then we have The Watchers, which is a film by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
Interesting.
become a director, and she's
know
going to
she
release
did
her
stuff.
first movie.
Cool.
It's her
Cool.
first film.
movie. Interesting.
So it should be interesting to see what she does.
Very cool.
Also in June is set for Bad Boys 4.
Really?
Yes. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence
Interesting.
coming back to the Bad Boys franchise for the fourth time.
Bad Boys for Life.
That was the title of the third one, so they can't title it that, unfortunately. I don't know what it's going to be.
Unfortunate.
Maybe they'll call this one Bad Boys 3, and they'll just flip it. I don't know. Then, of course, we have the Pixar sequel, Inside Out 2.
That's right.
They released the teaser for this. Looks
Yeah.
very interesting. Going to be introducing a lot of new characters here.
Look, Pixar, they never let me down.
Never count them out.
Never count them out. Even when they do sequels, which
Right.
is probably the
Could be a
worst
little
thing,
hit or
worst
miss.
thing that
Yeah.
they do.
Right.
But even their sequels are great. I mean, Incredibles 2.
Sure.
I even think Monsters University is pretty good.
I thought the third Cars movie was maybe my favorite
Cars
Cars movie.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, obviously, about Toy Story 2.
Of course,
3.
all the Toy Stories are
Yeah.
incredible.
So, yeah, looking forward to Inside Out.
Definitely. Then also in June we have A Quiet Place Day 1, so the prequel to A Quiet Place.
Okay.
Going back in time, whole new cast of
Well, that's
characters, which is going to be interesting. Also a new director. John Krasinski is not
Oh.
directing this one.
Well, this sounds great.
So, I'm
because
very
everything
curious.
everything I didn't like about the original movies was the cast and direction.
That's too bad,
I
because the
know.
first one's great.
I know.
We disagree on that. But anyways, we're looking forward to that. Also, Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1
Okay.
will be released at the end of June. This is Kevin Costner's next big Western.
Interesting.
So,
Very cool.
huge fan of this actor and
Yeah.
director. He's directing it, he's starring in it. It's going to be as it says, an American saga. It's going to be an epic
Right.
Western. So, haven't
Very
seen any footage from it yet. We do have a poster, but
Okay.
that's really all that we have.
Awesome.
And it's got a big cast. So, very much looking forward to that.
Very cool.
All right, coming up to July now. July has some big releases, including another fourth film, Despicable Me 4.
Oh,
is
really?
being released this July. Yes.
Interesting.
Steve Carell back as Gru,
That's right.
a role that he's made famous.
The
so
meme master.
That's right, exactly. Then we have Twisters. This is a sequel to the 1990s film
Really?
Twister. Yes.
That's
It's
shocking
going to
that
be
we're
it's
getting
a new Twister movie. It's a disaster film. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with
Very
that.
cool.
Another one where they're bringing in an all-new cast.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And so very curious to see what that ends up being.
Okay.
Then, of course, closing out July with Marvel's only film this year.
Okay.
Which is the first time that this has happened in several years, but they've only released one movie, and it is Deadpool 3. So this is supposedly the finale to the Deadpool trilogy, introducing the X-Men, bringing back Hugh Jackman.
Supposedly this will tie the Fox universe into the MCU somehow.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing. A lot of people are speculating that it'll adapt the comic Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. But all we know is Hugh Jackman's in it.
That's right.
Ryan Reynolds is back.
A lot of rumors about big cameos coming. You know, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. No footage yet. They just wrapped filming, actually, just about a week ago.
Okay,
so
cool.
Very curious to see. Sean Levy's directing that, so another one where they have a new director coming in. All right, then we're getting into August now. August has some big ones, including M. Night Shyamalan himself is also releasing a movie this year.
Oh, wow.
It's called Trap.
Interesting.
We, again, don't know any plot details.
Shyamalan, you never know.
It's hit or miss with him, too.
He, I think, has the most drastic, amazing movies.
5-star films and then some, like, one-star movies, right?
Which is kind of amazing that you can even do that as a filmmaker. You can go from Unbreakable to
The Happening.
Knock at the Cat, or The Happening,
Right.
It's shocking.
Yeah, and then of course we have a video game adaptation called Borderlands.
That's right, Borderlands. Yeah,
Borderlands
very famous.
Has a
video
really
game
cool
franchise.
cast.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see. I don't know really anything about that franchise.
Yeah, I know it's like a steampunk,
kind of
almost
dystopian,
post-apocalyptic dystopian world.
Interesting.
A very big franchise game.
Gotcha. Also in August we have the next Alien film.
Okay.
Called Alien Romulus.
Cool.
This is set between Alien and Aliens. So the first two Alien movies set between that
Very
era.
interesting.
All new cast.
How's that going to work? Those movies take place right after each other.
Actually, it's several years later.
Oh, really?
She's in hypersleep for a long time
that's
before she gets to Earth.
That's right.
So I guess some other crew maybe shows up on that planet or something. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Hey,
so
we'll see. You just got to keep going back to those first two that worked.
That's right. I think if this is a smaller, more intimate film, it'll work. More of a horror movie,
sure.
like the original.
Almost a throwback to what those movies were.
Exactly. That's right. So yeah,
we shall see. They keep trying it. So,
yeah.
What is this one called?
Alien Romulus.
Romulus.
Yes.
The Romulan Empire.
That's right. It's a Star Trek
crossover. Very cool.
Closing out August with two movies, Horizon and American Saga Chapter 2 will be released. So they're both basically released within about a month of each other. Those two-part westerns that Kevin Costner's doing. Then we have Kraven the Hunter.
That's right.
Another Spider-Man spinoff. So we're getting two Spider-Man spinoffs. Actually, three. We're going to talk about another one in just a minute. 3 Spider-Man spinoffs in 1 year. That's unprecedented. And it's kind of crazy that Sony's has 3 movies this year and Marvel Studios only has 1.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
ever
happened.
Which I think will be interesting to see how that changes the landscape of superhero movies right now. Because everybody's kind of talking about fatigue setting in, and they're not really sure about the future of the MCU. I think it really hinges on Deadpool 3 and its success. If that does super well, then I think the genre can withstand another Kraven, another Madam Web, another Venom. At least until the next step.
Yeah, we'll have to see what that is. The trailer didn't really get me excited for it, honestly. But
everyone's upset because he doesn't have a Russian accent, and they think he has lion powers. But we'll see.
Some odd choices, but we'll have to wait and see. Hold out hope for that one. Moving on to September, we've got some big releases, including Tim Burton returning to Beetlejuice.
Really?
With Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder.
Wow.
Back in their original roles. Beetlejuice 2 coming out this September. Looks to be a big movie. I mean, a lot of people are really excited about this.
Beetlejuice is a cult classic.
It is an absolute cult classic.
Are crazy about.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely, 100%. All right, so then in September, we also have an animated film called Transformers 1.
Okay.
So this is the next Transformers movie. It's a prequel. It's the title.
Is this in the continuity of Rise of the Beasts?
I don't think it is. I think it's its own thing.
That would be very confusing.
But it might not be. I don't know. I don't think they've confirmed either way.
Okay.
Transformers 1 stars Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime.
Interesting.
Which is a really interesting choice. Really excited about what they do there. Scarlett Johansson's in it. So it's really about Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Okay, cool.
About their relationship.
That's what's been missing out on the newer Transformers movies, I think, has been that classic Decepticon Autobot clash.
Yeah. Also in September, we have the 11th chapter of the Saw franchise, which has been going on for a long time.
That's pretty
over
amazing.
20 years.
Any franchise that can last 11 films, that's pretty shocking.
I mean, Saw and Star Wars and Star Trek, I guess, are literally the only ones that I can think of.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Moving on to October, we have Joker, Folie à Deux.
That's right.
This is the second Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga now joining the cast as Harley Quinn.
That's right.
Todd Phillips is returning to direct. And
Now this
I'm a fan of the original.
initially sounded like a joke to me.
It kind of did.
We're doing
yeah.
a sequel to Joker, which is this dark drama about this psychological broken character.
Right.
And the sequel's going to be a musical starring Lady Gaga.
Right.
And it's like just a totally different thing.
Big shift. But
I can see it working.
I think it'll retain the tone.
Yeah.
But just have weird musical sequences.
Right.
I think it'll actually work really well.
We shall see. We shall see.
Also coming out in October, Smile 2. So Smile was a pretty big horror movie.
Yeah,
Came out just a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's already got a sequel. So interested in what that's going to be. Universal is releasing Wolfman.
Okay.
A reboot, remake of the original Wolfman movie. Originally Ryan Gosling was going to star. He had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts.
Okay.
But I'm still very curious about this.
Sure.
I really liked their remake of The Invisible Man.
I was going to mention that.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm curious if they're trying to build something here or if they're just kind of remaking their original.
I think they're keeping them standalone. I think the Dark Universe announcement, with Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe and Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie and it never went anywhere because The Mummy failed miserably.
Yeah.
They're probably going to stay away from that.
I think that's for the best.
I think it is too.
I think that way we can keep those films singular.
Yes.
Keep that vision. Yeah.
All right, moving towards the end of the year now, we have in November Venom 3. This is the other Spider-Man spinoff I was referring to.
That's
the third in the Venom trilogy. Said to close it out, Tom Hardy. This is his last time as the character. So I'm very curious. They've got a new writer and director for this one.
But take that with a grain of salt. I mean, everyone says it's their last time until you get a Spider-Man No Way Home and everybody comes back.
Big paycheck comes in.
Alfred Molina did it all for the money.
That's right.
But that's interesting. A Venom 3, I'm curious what they'll do with the character.
Right.
I think at this point in the Venom mythology, I think Null is maybe the only other big character you could go.
Sure. There's all kinds of symbiotes you could bring in, but Null is a big one.
Yeah, Null is a big one.
Agent Venom. I mean, they could do all kinds of things with this. So
that's right.
And they could set up future things too, where it's a different character that has the symbiote now. It's happened in the comics.
Right. Yeah.
So then we also have Alto Knights. This is a gangster film from Barry Levinson, who's a director I really like. So that's going to be interesting. Then we have, of course, Gladiator 2 from Ridley Scott.
Are you serious?
This is a sequel that I am highly anticipating.
Wow.
Because, of course, the original is fantastic. One of my favorite movies ever made.
Of course, it's hailed as one of the greatest.
Russell Crowe is fantastic in it. This one does not have Russell Crowe, for good reason if you've seen the original.
Of course.
But Denzel Washington's going to be in it.
Interesting.
Has a really good cast. And so, Ridley, he rarely disappoints. Yeah, there have been a few movies that he's done that I haven't been a big fan of. But I'm hoping this is one of the good ones.
He doesn't do sequels very often, does he?
I don't know if he's ever done one, actually.
That's strange to choose Gladiator as a film to do your sequel for. I don't know. I'm skeptical about that one.
Me too. Wicked Part 1. So they're turning the musical Broadway hit show Wicked, which is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, into a feature film.
This is a widely beloved musical.
Yep.
I can see this being a very big hit. When does this come out?
This comes out at the end of November, so right around Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Holiday season.
Yep.
Ariana Grande is playing one of the lead characters, so right there you've got a big fan base.
Yep, it's sold already. I can see it.
There you go.
Buy your tickets now, people.
That's right. All right, then the final month of the year, December.
That's right.
We've got one that I'm really excited about. I think this is a cool idea. They're doing an animated film based in the world of Middle-earth. It's called The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. And this is going to be a prequel to the Lord of the Rings series.
Well, we all remember what happened last time they made an animated Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Exactly. This, I think they're putting a lot of time and effort into, though, and I think it's going to be really interesting. Really curious to see the footage, see what kind of animation it is, what it's going to look like. And so, very curious about that one. Then, of course, also in December, we're getting The Karate Kid.
That's right.
A new Karate Kid movie.
With Jackie Chan.
And Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see this.
Yeah, really interesting.
Doing a big casting call.
That's the thing, is the interesting kind of marketing ploy for this movie has been they're looking for the next Karate Kid. So
Yeah.
you can go to their website and submit your application to become the next
Exactly.
Karate Kid.
Yeah,
I
that's it.
assume they've chosen one already. I haven't heard any
I mean,
big
if they're
announcement.
gonna release this in December, they better start shooting.
They better
like
start
this
shooting
month.
it quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless they've got a script that they know they can do really quick.
Right. I guess these movies don't require any special effects or digital effects that they'd have to do a lot of post-production.
I mean, it's just a
on.
lot of stunt choreography,
Right.
which, that takes a long time.
Right. It's more pre-production than post-production
Right,
time.
right, yeah. So
So-
interesting. This is, I think, a response to Cobra Kai's massive success.
Absolutely, it is. I'm
That's
hoping it ties in somehow.
I assume it will, with Ralph Macchio coming back.
Definitely. It's cool that they're crossing it over with the 2010 reboot that Jackie
Exactly.
Chan was in with Jaden Smith.
Because Jaden Smith's Karate Kid, there's no karate in the whole movie. It's all Kung Fu.
Yeah, it's Kung Fu Kid.
So it will be cool to see those two
Kung Fu
martial
and
arts
karate
kind of combined.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see.
Definitely. Then Disney has their next big live-action semi-remake. It's actually a prequel to The Lion King. It's called
Really?
Mufasa: The Lion King. And
Okay.
this film is, again, said to be a prequel about Mufasa's backstory with
Sure.
Scar.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like there's a book about that. Isn't there some kind of
there's some
book
kind
or
of, there's
prequel,
something
or
about it.
there's
something
at
about it
some point,
somewhere.
I saw something about that.
Some kind of
It was
story
Scar's
somewhere.
backstory or
Mhm.
something.
Yep.
But that sounds cool. I mean, that's a story that's pretty interesting in the Lion King mythology.
Definitely. It's a story we haven't seen on screen before, which is
Honestly,
why I think this is interesting.
I wish they had done this instead of the live action adaptation of the original movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree
Do something a little different.
Right.
Give us a little more or
Right.
a little
Yep.
focus on a different character or something.
And I'm hoping these lions can at least emote a little bit more. That was my problem with the Lion King movie. It's like, Simba's really sad. Simba's really happy. It just looks like a lion.
He is a lion.
So the realism maybe was taken a little too far for me in that Jon Favreau film.
Right.
But this one, Barry Jenkins is directing, and it's got a good cast too. So very curious about that.
Awesome.
And then next up we have Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the
Right.
third film in this saga of Sonic movies.
Very cool.
It's coming off the heels of Sonic and Sonic 2, which were huge hits globally.
Mhm.
Obviously, the character's been around a long time. Animation,
Yes,
video
that's
games,
right.
the widely memed Ugly Sonic.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Chip
the
and
movie.
Dale had him in
That's
a
right.
cameo role. They fixed him for the fans, and so I'm curious to see that we don't have any footage. There's a lot of talk about Shadow being introduced.
I'm pretty sure it's confirmed at this point that Shadow will make an
Hayden
appearance.
Christensen possibly voicing Shadow,
That would be awesome.
which would be incredible.
People
So,
would love that.
Yeah, I think that would be a good move. So very curious to see where that ends up being. The third Sonic movie, where they're going to take that. I know they're doing a spin-off series on Paramount Plus as well.
Mhm.
See how that's going to tie in.
Cool.
If it's going to expand further.
Hey,
more
Sonic has a
characters.
lot of history, a lot of lore.
Yep.
He's got comics. He's got
Mhm.
expansive, like you said, animated series and so many video games.
Right. I will miss Jim Carrey on this one. He'll be sorely
right.
missed, I feel like.
That's right.
Yeah, because he was
But,
one of the saving graces of his first two
Sure,
films.
sure.
So,
We shall see.
Closing out December with a big horror movie from a director we're both huge fans of.
Okay.
Robert Eggers,
Of course.
Nosferatu.
Really?
He's doing a vampire
Okay.
movie based on one of the earliest vampire movies from
Absolutely.
the silent era
Yeah.
in the 1920s,
Very
Nosferatu.
famous.
This one has Nicholas Hoult in it, who's one of my favorite actors.
Okay.
It's really, really looking to be something very different,
Yeah.
very fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Willem Dafoe's in this,
Okay.
coming off of his Robert Eggers film, The Lighthouse. So yeah, very interested to see what they do with that. It's supposed to be released Christmas. So
Cool.
Christmas season, people will get to choose Sonic the Hedgehog 3 or Nosferatu. Two very different audiences.
That's right.
Which is a lot of fun to see
Yes,
that happen.
yes.
So yeah, that's it, folks. That's it for 2024.
This year looks bright.
What's
like a bright
your
year.
top? Do you have a top 3?
I mean, we got to see Dune.
Dune Part 2.
Dune Part
I agree,
2.
is way up there.
I'm
for
so
me.
ecstatic for.
Absolutely.
Civil War, the A24 movie. That sounds big and
Yeah.
interesting.
Alex Garland's a great filmmaker. Ex Machina. He did
Right.
some great
Exactly.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
for me, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes
for
is
sure.
way up there as well.
Mhm.
Of course, Furiosa I have to see in theaters.
Definitely,
That's what I'm really
definitely.
looking forward to. And actually, for me, the other one I think I would say is Horizon.
Okay.
I'm a huge Western fan,
Sure.
and we don't get very many Westerns
Right.
nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
So the fact that Kevin Costner is coming back doing a big, epic 2-part Western,
Right.
I am ecstatic about
For
that.
sure,
So
for sure.
let us know your picks in the comments below. We're going to go interview a staff member now and get their picks for their most anticipated movies of the year. All right, folks, we are here in the lobby of Premier Lux Cinema 8 and Pizza Pub right here in Plant City. Had to get an interview with one of the staff members here. We've got Cameron, so it's a meeting of the Camerons. She is an associate director here, taking very good care of us while we're in the theater all the time. So we wanted to get some of her picks for her most anticipated movies of 2024. What's your first pick?
Definitely the new Ghostbusters movie. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, are you a big Ghostbusters fan?
I've loved them since I was little. I've always loved the Ghostbusters movies.
That's awesome. That's a great pick. I'm really looking forward to that one too. It looks really good. The trailer just came out. It looks excellent. Give us your second pick.
Probably The First Omen. It has a couple of my favorite actors in it. I'm a really big horror fan, so that one looks really good.
Excellent. Great pick. Yeah, that's a prequel to the original Omen movie, which I'm a big fan of. So excellent choice. All right, give us your third and final pick.
I'm going to have to go with the third Deadpool movie. I mean, the first one came out on my birthday when I was like 11. So that was my big birthday gift. So I just can't wait for the third one.
All right, that's great. Thank you, Cameron, for the interview. Really appreciate it. Those are all great picks. Let us know your picks in the comments below. Now we're going to take it back to you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special episode from right here in Plant City's very own Premier Lux Cinema 8 and Pizza Pub. Thank you again to the amazing staff here for welcoming us. We feel right at home here, as we should. Make sure you get your tickets at the link below. Check all their show times. Those are all in the description. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.